Good evening. Today we start our class with fundamental rights. This is the third part of Indian Constitution. Start with Article 12 and end with 35, known as fundamental rights. First of all, we come to the point, what is rights? Every person has some rights in his life. The person claims for the development of his or her own self. Every person need in his or her life to dwell, to live with dignity. This is the right of person. And how many types of rights are? Rights are mainly four types. First, individual, second, collective, natural, and fundamental. Individual rights are those rights which are given to individual person, like right to education is a individual right to one by one person. Second is collective right. Collective right are that rights which are given to a group or a society. For example, we give right to worship is a collective right. Natural right. These are the universal rights, like good air, better life, and fundamental rights. These rights are given by the states to their citizens. Fundamental rights. Why these rights are fundamentals? First is these rights are written in Constitution. And second is it is justiciable. If any of the right is violated by the state or an individual, the person whose right are violated can go to a Supreme Court. Supreme Court can take action with the help of Article 32. Now come to what is the nature of fundamental rights. If we talk about our constitutional fundamental rights, these rights are not absolute but reasonable restrictions. Second, these are mainly negative rights, sometimes it is positive also. Third is justiciable. Fourth is amendable but not basic structures. Fifth, guarantee against the state. Now come to the how we check the not absolute. Because in some situations state can put a reasonable restriction on the fundamental rights. That's why these are not absolute but are reasonable restricted rights, except Article 19 and 21. Why these are like this? These are like this because it put a liability on a state. State is liable to give these rights to their children. That's why they are called negative rights. But some rights are positive because they also help to administer. That's why they are sometimes called positive. Justiciable. If any of the fundamental right is violated by a state or sometimes by an individual, person can go to a Supreme Court and person that violate the rights of others can be punished by the Supreme Court. Fourth one is amendable. The all fundamental rights can be amended by our Parliament, but not the basic structure of the fundamental rights or a basic structure of the Constitution. Where we find the basic structure? Is it written in our Constitution? So answer is no. Nowhere this is written that what is the basic structure of Indian Constitution. But time to time our Supreme Court decide what is the basic structure of our Constitution. In case of fundamental right, the Keswanand Bharti case in 1793, Supreme Court declared if any of the fundamental right is violated by state or individual, it can be void, declared void. Fifth is the guarantee against the state. All the fundamental rights given by the Constitution are the guarantee against the state because Supreme Court is the guardian of these rights. Now come to the how many fundamental rights are given to Indian citizens. There are mainly originally given 7 rights, but now these are 6 rights. The right to property is now a legal right because sometimes need of government to development, the property issues went a long time disturbance in development. That's why this is transferred to a legal right. This sent to now this is in Article 300A in Part 12. Now start with the Article 12 and 13. These are the general articles. Article 12 tells us about the state definition. What is the state? Article 14 to 18 tells us the right to equality. Article 19 to 22 tells us the right to freedom. Article 23 and Article 24 tells us the right against exploitation. If anyone exploits the right of other, he can be punished. Right to freedom of religion. Article 25 to 28. Cultural and educational right, Article 29 and Article 30. Rights to constitutional remedies, Article 32 to 35. In this way, we move forward one by one with the fundamental rights.